too. You know him. When you see him, you'll know. Yes. No, his twin. Identical. They look just alike. Yeah. Mm, thank you, sweetheart.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mayor. We see you.
Okay, are we ready to start, Mr. Clark?
We have a quorum, Mayor. We're ready to go.
Okay, I know, okay, I'm calling the regular board meeting to order at 7:35 PM. I am participating electronically because I am at a conference. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call? And the rest of the trustees are in the Village of Broadview, Village Chambers, 2350 South 25th Avenue. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham,
Here.
Trustee Chamalave,
Here.
Trustee Senior is absent. Mayor Thompson,
Here.
Trustee Shelby,
Here.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller,
Here.
and Madam President, we do have a quorum. Can we all please stand or acknowledge the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll read the Pledge of Civility. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. Now I will ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to allow Mayor Thompson to participate electronically due to work.
Make a motion to allow Mayor Katrina Thompson to participate electronically.
I second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham and seconded by Trustee Chamalave to allow Mayor Thompson to participate electronically. I'll take a roll call. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Mayor Thompson,
Yes.
Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller,
Yes.
and that passes 5-0. Thank you all. Next, we have item 2, public comment. I have not received any at this time, so we'll move on to item 3, presentation. We have none at this time. Item 4, communications. I have a couple, so bear with me. Okay, first, join us for Family Fun as we dedicate our new rescue pumper at the open house over at the fire department, Saturday, October 12th, from 9 a.m. to noon, right at our Broadview Fire Department, 2400 South 25th Avenue. And you also have a lot of activities that day, including meeting the new Fire Chief Bryant. Next, Drive-By Community Shred Day, Saturday, October 12th, from 9 a.m. to noon, right here at Broadview Village Hall. Bring your bags and boxes of paper to be shredded in minutes right on site. For more information, contact 708-681-3600. Next, Halloween Spookathon. Save the date for October 25th and 26th. We are accepting candy donations. This will be over at the Schroeder Park, 2600 South 13th Avenue, Broadview, Illinois. For more information, call 708-343-5637. And winter is coming. The senior snow removal program continues for 2024. If you haven't already done so, please contact 708-681-3600, extension 259 for more information. And finally, Developing Our Youth Scholarship Expo 2024. Invest in your future. This is co-sponsored by the Village of Broadview and the Village of Bellwood, Mayors Katrina Thompson and Andre Harvey. We have over 10,000 students and facilitated over $200 million in scholarships for prospective college students in addition to the expo. This is going to happen on October 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4701 Harrison Street in Hillside. And that concludes communications for the evening. Next, item 5, consideration to approve the following minutes. Minutes from the September 16th, 2024 regular board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Shelby, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President, this is open for discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I sent an email regarding the minutes with some corrections. Were those corrections made?
Madam President, those minutes were corrected and sent out to the trustees this evening as soon as they were made. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No, none.
Trustee Chamalave?
None.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
I don't have an updated or corrected set of minutes from today. Can you confirm you sent it? The last I have is Friday.
Yes, confirmed.
Okay, well,
I'll make sure you have a hard copy before you leave the building tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior, absent, trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour is absent, trustee Miller,
abstain.
and Madam President, this carries, let me ask your vote, Mayor Thompson. Can I have a vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This carries 4-0 with 1 abstention. Thank you all. Next, item 6, consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds. Hold on 1 second. This is gonna be, for $47,726.79 for the period ending 8/13/2024. Need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Chamalave, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President.
Thank you. As you all recall, the last two set of minutes from August 13th and August 27th didn't appear on our agenda for approval at the last board meeting. What's being asked is for you all to approve the expenditures from August 13th, 2024, and then follow that will be from August 27th, 2024. So trustee Shelby, finance chairwoman, will you read the warrant list from August 13th, please?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay. The warrant list for August 13th, 2024, the vendors are AT&T in the amount of $9,771.71. B&F Construction Code Services in the amount of $14,425. Baker Tilly US LLP of $15,000. Comcast Business in the amount of $4,995.46. Delgado Law Group LLC in the amount of $14,402.44. Dell Marketing LP in the amount of $3,168.93. Edward Hancock Engineering Company in the amount of $20,950. Illinois Counties Risk Management Trust in the amount of $4,839.50. Joseph L. Ponsato in the amount of $4,290. Mid-American Water in the amount of $12,238.71. Nadali Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $131,679.81. Quicket Solutions in the amount of $2,660. Tier Point LLC in the amount of $2,511.31. West Cook County Solid Waste Agency in the amount of $14,868.25. The total of expenditures over $2,500 was $255,801.12, which is 86% of our total expenditures in the amount of $299,163.35. We had some manual payments. The vendor was Chase Day. The date of the check was August the 9th, 2024, check number 86688 in the amount of $150. We also had one for R&W Garage Doors, date August the 13th, 2024, check number 86690 in the amount of $46,562.04. And Sheila Armour, the date August the 9th, 2024, check number 86689 in the amount of $1,014.75 for a total of $47,726.79. We also had an electronic payment. The vendor was Chase Credit Card. The payments were reflecting as of July the 25th, 2024 in the amount of $18,721.67. Give me 1 second here. Where is my other paper here? Give me a second. I'm looking for something here. It's August the 27th. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay, the accounts, the funds, the accounts that were the accounts that were that was taken from the funds were the general fund account in the amount of $114,234.01. We have the garbage fund in the amount of $14,868.25. The motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $140,295.39. The CDBG fund in the amount of $12,430. The capital projects fund in the amount of $146.25. And the water and sewage fund in the amount of $17,189.45. Again, for a grand total of $299,163.35. Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
I think we need to correct the agenda because that's not the amount that we just approved. We approved $47,726.79, which is different from the actual grand total amount
813.
of $299,163.35.
So I need someone to make a supersede motion to change the dollar amount for $47,726.79 to total expenditures, $299,163.35.
Yeah, that was for the.
Motion.
So I'll make a superseding motion to correct the agenda, to reflect the amount for $299,163.35 versus the $47,726.79 for the expenditures.
We need a second.
Second,
Who's the second?
Thank you, Trustee Miller.
Shelby.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Shelby for a superseding motion correcting the total dollar amount to $299,163.35 as opposed to the $47,726.79, which shows on the agenda. I'll have a roll call, Madam President, for that.
Yes.
Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave,
Yes.
Trustee Senior, absent. Trustee Shelby,
Yes.
Trustee Armour, absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Thank you all. That carries 4-0. Next item. Expenditure, consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $987,009.30 for the period ending 8/27/2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Chalmalave. Madam President.
Thank you, trustee Shelby. Will you please read the warrant list from August 27, 2024?
Yes, Mayor. Okay, the vendors are AT&T in the amount of $6,431.69. B&F Construction Code Services in the amount of $7,185. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, $151,153.99. Broadview Business Associates in the amount of $151,153.99. Broadview Business Association, $6,200. Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency in the amount of $289,764.15. ComEd in the amount of $7,007.18. Contractors Equipment Rentals Incorporated in the amount of $3,678.25. Delgado Law Group LLC in the amount of $19,808.75. Edwin Hancock Engineering Company in the amount of $38,589.68. Elmhurst Chicago Stone Company in the amount of $2,534.75. Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated in the amount of $134,600. Leeds Online LLC in the amount of $3,297. Lincoln National Life Insurance in the amount of $6,357.60. Montana and Welch LLC in the amount of $9,847.50. Mooney Webb in the amount of $4,065. Paramedic Billing Services Incorporated in the amount of $14,111.75. River Oaks Property LLC in the amount of $50,000. SBC Waste Solutions in the amount of $170,337.08. Site One Landscape Supply in the amount of $3,397.40, and the Above Average School in the amount of $26,530.19. The total of expenditures over $2,500 came to $954,896.96, which is 97% of our total expenditures in the amount of $987,009.30. We have some manual payments. The vendor was Henry J. Brown Jr. The date of the check was August the 26th, 2024. Check number 86757 in the amount of $250. Also, we have Keith Davis. Date of check August the 20th, 2024. Check number 86756 in the amount of $500. The total manual payments came to $750. Okay. The following accounts that were affected by these expenditures: we have the general fund account in the amount of $344,544.17. We have the garbage fuel account in the amount of $170,337.08. The motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $6,847.94. The Roosevelt Road TIF fund in the amount of $390. We also have the Roosevelt and 17th Avenue TIF in the amount of $3,060, and the Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $169,678.68, and then the Water and Sewage Fund in the amount of $292,151.43, again for a grand total of $987,009.30. And Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No question.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby?
Yes, no questions.
Thank you. Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next. Consideration to approve expenditures, grand total of all funds, $890,717.17 for the period ending October 2nd, 2024.
Motion to approve.
I second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Chamalave. Madam President.
Thank you. Trustee Shelby, will you please read the warrant list from October 2nd, 2024?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank
Okay,
you.
the vendors are Ananas Ramos Carrera in the amount of $2,600, AT&T in the amount of $8,330.68, Baker Tilly US LLP in the amount of $16,665, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois in the amount of $149,138.03, Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency in the amount of $279,335.16, Charms World Incorporated in the amount of $6,950, Comcast Business in the amount of $4,995.46, Core and Main LP in the amount of $13,468.54, Delgado Law Group LLC in the amount of $14,520, Edwin Hancock Engineering Company in the amount of $88,113.95, Freddie Valencia Zavala in the amount of $3,000, Geno's Heating and Plumbing Incorporated in the amount of $75,412.95, Grandview Homes One LLC in the amount of $6,300, Joseph L. Pensado in the amount of $2,730, Lincoln National Life Insurance Company in the amount of $6,295.18, Moscow Design Incorporated in the amount of $2,819.70, Pierre's Banquet in the amount of $3,873.60, Quicket Solutions in the amount of $28,950, SVC Waste Solutions in the amount of $13,007.64, Stryker Sales LLC in the amount of $3,560.15, The Intelligence Group Ltd. in the amount of $8,000, Third Millennium in the amount of $2,843.96, Vermeer Midwest in the amount of $72,109.84, and the West Central Municipal Conference in the amount of $11,434.16, and then we have the West Cook County Solid Waste Agency in the amount of $14,233.34. The total of expenditures over $2,500 came to $838,687.34, which is 94% of our total expenditures in the amount of $890,717.17. We had some manual payments. The vendor, Fitness Factory, the date, September the 17th, 2024, check number 86896, in the amount of $19,681. We have the Chicago Football Classic, date of check, September the 23rd, 2024, check number 86898, in the amount of $250. The total payments came to $19,931. We also had an electronic payment. The vendor was Chase Credit Card. The payments reflecting as of August the 25th, 2024, in the amount of $6,748.64. The accounts that were affected by these expenditures, we have the general fund account in the amount of $410,106.06. We have the garbage fund account in the amount of $27,240.98. We have the motor fuel tax fund in the amount of $18,838.99. We have the CDBG fund in the amount of $3,590. We have the Roosevelt Road TIF fund in the amount of $44,912.10. And we have the Roosevelt and 17th Avenue TIF in the amount of $10,180. And then we have the Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $21,459.70. And then last but not least, we have the Water and the Sewage Fund in the amount of $354,389.34. Again, for a grand total of $890,717.17. Madam Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Shelby. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Malave?
No, none.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
I have a couple, so can we explain 3 charges? Charms World for $6,950, the Pierre's Banquet charge, as well as the Fitness Factory.
Okay, so the Charms World, the vendor lost the check. And so the dollar amount changed because he had to cover the cost for the stop payment. What's the other 2?
Okay, I know the amounts, but I'm asking whatever, was this discussed as something that was previously approved?
Yes, the board approved Charms World at the last board meeting.
Okay,
That's for the mural that's at the animal hospital on 17th Avenue.
okay, yeah, I know where it's at, but I didn't know if there was a discussion about it. And then Pierre's Banquet was the other one?
Pierre's Banquet is a banquet that the police department is having. They will be selling tickets, so it will be an equal balance, but in order for them to reserve the spot, they have to leave a deposit. And so that will take place in the spring, and it's in the budget.
And then Fitness Factory?
Fitness Factory, that was approved probably 2 meetings ago. That's the fitness equipment for the police department's gym. And that was approved by the board as well.
Okay, it's kind of hard to tell which department it's for. I can see the GL accounts, but general fund is just general fund, so that's why I was asking about them.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Malave,
Yes.
trustee Senior is absent, trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour is absent, trustee Miller,
Yes,
and this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, item 7, application for the authority to expend funds. We have none. Item 8, committee reports, which are given at each first meeting of the month, starting with our Business License Committee, trustee Armour. She is absent. Does anyone have anything in her stead?
No.
No? Thank you. Next, Police and Fire, trustee Miller.
no report.
Thank you, trustee. Next, Finance Committee, trustee Shelby.
No report.
Thank you, trustee.
Can I add for the Finance Committee? So we just got word from Baker Tilly that they have our audit complete for fiscal year 22. So that's going to be presented at the next board meeting on October 21st. I believe Tom is out on the medical, so he's not at the meeting to discuss that in further details this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Noted for the record.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Building and Public Property, trustee Malave.
No update. I thought there was one, but I got that cleared up. Next week I have a scheduled meeting with the building commissioner to talk about the Roosevelt project that was up for was on the agenda today, but I believe we're going to hold. We won't be having a presentation?
There
Oh,
won't be
you
a
had it.
presentation. That presentation was.
No, I
already
thought
at
that's
last
why we
meeting.
were taking the agenda out of order.
Yeah, we're gonna actually just take, we'll come to that and we'll talk about
Okay,
the order. of it.
okay.
Did that conclude?
I'll have more
conclude your
info next
report?
week. That completes my report.
Okay, thank you, trustee. Next is the Water Drainage and Health, trustee senior, who's absent. Does anyone have anything in her stead?
Yes,
Okay, trustee Abraham, please.
that trustee senior and I will be holding a joint committee meeting. We just haven't gotten a date yet, so we can have the information available. So when we do, we'll make the announcement.
Date forthcoming.
Yes.
Okay,
date
thank you, trustee.
forthcoming in a joint meeting.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
And then lastly, street sidewalks and alleys, trustee Abraham.
Same thing.
Gotcha.
We're doing the joint meeting, so we just gotta come up with a date.
Okay, thank you for your report. Next is item 9, old business. We have none. Coming to item 10, new business.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to take the meeting out of order and go straight to item G.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
So it's been motioned properly by trustee Shelby, seconded by trustee Chalmalave, to take the regular order of business out of order, going straight to item G. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are moving to item G. Item G, an ordinance of the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, granting a special use for a mixed-use commercial and residential plan development at the property commonly known as 1301 through 1331 Roosevelt Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Chalmalave, seconded by trustee Shelby. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So I believe Dave should be ready to answer any questions that we may have, but just a little background information. This conversation started in 2023 as it relates to the development of that vacant lot that's on between 13th and 14th Avenue. The developer did come to a presentation to the board, I believe, in late November or early December of 23. Fast forward, we've held some zoning meetings that was open to the public. I believe the public did come out and voice their concerns with questions and comments. We had another zoning board meeting because there were some things that the zoning board gave back to the developers to be in compliance with the village codes and be in compliance with all of our rules and regulations. We did have a community meeting a couple of weeks ago discussing the development of the project. I thought that the meeting was well attended. I felt that the residents that participated asked some very engaging questions to get clarity on how we move forward with the project. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Upside to go into further details about this development property and what's to expect, and ask for the Board of Trustees to vote yes on this project. Commissioner Upshaw?
Thank you, Mayor. As the mayor stated, we had our initial community meeting back in November, December of 2023. Out of that meeting, we met with Pivotal, and they talked about the development of 1301 through 1331 Roosevelt Road. For those of you who are familiar, it's the vacant lot that's located on Roosevelt Road between 13th and 14th Avenue. Upon that discussion, the mayor expressed what type of development that we wanted at that location, and that would be a mixed-use commercial on the bottom and residential on the top. That being said, we worked with Pivotal, and we had a zoning board meeting April 9th, and out of that zoning board meeting, the zoning board recommended that the village board approve the special conditions with 3 items. There were 3 items that they wanted them to address. One was to make sure that it was a mixed-use development. The second item was to address the parking, and the third item was related to the elevator. Following that meeting, we worked with the applicant to revise the construction plan to address the recommended conditions. As it relates to the elevators, they presented information stating that any project that is under 60 units, only 1 elevator would be required. And so that outstanding item was addressed. As it relates to making the ground level commercial retail space, they actually moved the laundry room and the fitness center to an upper floor, allowing for the first floor, the ground level, to be commercial use. And item number 3, as they did not have sufficient parking, they sharpened their pencil and redesigned the building, and now they are compliant with the parking requirements as well. So, and that was the meeting that was held on August 8th. So at this time, they are requesting a special use, a mixed-use commercial and residential plan development for that location at 1301 through 1331 Roosevelt Road. I'll entertain any questions at this time. And also, we have the representatives of Pivotal here as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Upshaw. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
Just a comment. I think it'd be a great addition, obviously, to the community, being on that Roosevelt Road corridor, and just the way the building looks from the sign we have here, looks amazing. I'm glad the adjustments were made through our zoning board with the mixed use and then the health club, as well as the parking. So I'm glad that all got addressed and worked out. Other than that, I think it'll be a great addition leading into our community. So looks good. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Chalmalave.
Just a comment, I attended that meeting, which was well attended, and after the meeting, I did get some feedback from some neighbors. One in particular was the concern about retention and not having so much turnover, or preventing turnover, and if there was like a scaling of rent increase or some type of plan so that the residents would remain in Broadview and not have, people moving out. But they were very welcoming of the building and want to keep the residents that get approved there for long term. So it was, I thought it was a good comment. I did want to know from the meeting, we had a comment about the electric post, or that big pole where a semi-truck would be a problem for the liquor store, and so I hope that we can address that soon.
There was a resident that lives on 14th Avenue right off the alley, and I did have a conversation with the owners of the liquor store to address truck traffic as well as the electric that was there.
And
So that is currently being addressed.
Okay, great, thank you, because I did drive by there and see what she was talking about, so. That's the end of my comment.
Mayor, she concluded her comments. Trustee Chalmalave.
Is that it, Trustee Chalmalave?
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Trustee Shelby.
I have no questions.
Thank you, Trustee Miller.
So I didn't attend the meeting, the community meeting, and I'm always torn when we have these discussions. And I hope I had a few residents text me saying they couldn't hear us on YouTube or whatever we're streaming on. They only can hear the mayor. So hopefully that's not an interference with the discussions that we're having. But back to what I was saying, I'm always torn because I feel like a lot of times these deals are already done before they come for approval. One of the concerns that a resident brought to me was, well, did the board already approve a deal? It seems like the land has already been transferred, the site development plans have happened, all of the meetings have happened, and it's basically if the board says no, then we're stuck again. And I was like, it kind of happens that way sometimes. Even though we've had multiple meetings and discussions, it still does seem to the residents, and that's the couple that I've spoken to that have brought it to me to say, it seems like you guys are not really the ones that are making the decisions for what happens in the village. And I always try to go back and say, well, we have a whole team at the village that does that, but it doesn't actually give that feel. So I'm gonna ask, just for public record, is the deal already solid regardless of what the board's decision is tonight?
So if I may, number one, we've had several community meetings, so I encourage all residents and those interested in the projects to attend our zoning board meetings, our village board meetings, and our community meetings. to get their questions answered. Also, the building department, as well as the mayor's office, we are here Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. They're more than welcome to schedule appointments and sit down specifically with me, the building commissioner, to address any projects or any concerns or any thoughts that they may have about any project. Secondly, as it relates to the land, the deal is not done and the village has control of the land. Third question, the deal is not done. This is one step of a long process. We started this process in December of 2023. We have a long ways to go. We don't even have an agreement between Pivotal and the Village of Broadview. That still needs to be completed. During the community meeting that was held a couple weeks ago, as the mayor stated, we notated and we're going to address all of the concerns that the residents had. That will be in the plan unit development when we get to that stage. But this is just the next step in a long process. We anticipate actually construction potentially the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. I hope I answered all of the questions.
You did. For now.
Thank you.
Anything else, trustee Miller?
No, that's it, thanks.
Okay, so I will say the community meeting that we held that was streamed, I used the same mic that the questions was coming from the residents. Everybody spoke into the mic, and I actually rewatched the community meeting just to make sure that I didn't miss any comments or questions that was being asked so that we can address them in a timely fashion, as well as being transparent and upfront with the community. As Commissioner Upshaw stated, this is a process that's an ongoing process. This is the first step. The first step is creating a variance for zoning. So I encourage all of the trustees to get familiar with how the zoning board operate and function. They made a recommendation to this board to go ahead and move forward with the project. And so I'm asking the board to go ahead and move forward with the recommendation of the zoning board to create the mixed-use development property. And so when we talk about mixed use, that's the housing and commercial, because they're in a commercial district. So we have to change the ordinance to accommodate that. So trustee, Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Abstain.
And Madam President, I need your vote, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. This passes 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now, at
Board.
this time, I would like to entertain a motion to go to the regular order of the board meeting.
Yeah, motion to go to the regular order of the board meeting.
I
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Shelby, seconded by Trustee Abraham to return to the regular order of the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are now back to item A under new business. And item A is a proclamation, Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. Madam President?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can you read the proclamation for me, please?
I sure can. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, Breast Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. Whereas October is nationally recognized as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an annual campaign to raise awareness about the impact of breast cancer and the importance of early detection, education, and research in the fight against this disease. And whereas breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among women in the United States, aside from skin cancers, and 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. And whereas early detection of breast cancer through regular screenings, including mammograms and self-exams, can significantly improve survival rates and lead to better outcomes for those affected. And whereas we honor the courage and strength of millions of breast cancer survivors, their families, and friends who provide them with the critical emotional and practical support during treatment and recovery. And whereas we remember those who have lost their lives to breast cancer and remain committed to advancing medical research, improving access to quality care, and supporting prevention efforts in the hope of eradicating this disease. And whereas local organizations, healthcare professionals, and advocates work tirelessly in our community to raise awareness, provide education, and offer essential services to those battling breast cancer and their families. And whereas by coming together to support breast cancer awareness, we can continue to make strides in research, treatment, advocacy, ultimately working toward a future where breast cancer no longer claims lives. Now, therefore, I, Katrina R. Thompson, Mayor, do hereby proclaim October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Broadview, and I encourage all residents to join in this vital effort by raising awareness, supporting those affected, and participating in activities and events that promote breast cancer education and research. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Village of Broadview to be affixed the 7th of October, 2024. Mayor Katrina R. Thompson, Village of Broadview. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I just want to note for the record that on Friday, October 18th, we will wear pink to celebrate breast cancer awareness in the Village of Broadview.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. Next is item B, a resolution authorizing and approving certain expenses related to Village President Katrina Thompson attending the Illinois Municipal League Conference for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President?
Yes, this was the conference that we all attended on September 19th through September 21st, 2024 at IML. As many of you all know, I got re-elected to be one of the vice presidents for IML. The total cost for this conference was $1,452.57. Trustee Abraham, do you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, item C, a resolution authorizing and approving an addendum to the previously approved contract with the Intelligence Group, LTD, for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Chalmalave, seconded by Trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you. So as you all are aware, back in July, we approved for the Intelligent Group to do some lobbying services on the federal level. Well, I spoke with Mr. Jackson as it relates to lobbying for us in the state, and he agreed to do that to be a lobbyist for the state of Illinois as well as a federal lobbyist for the Village of Broadview with no additional cost. But we need to put the addendum in place so that he can register with the state of Illinois so that we can receive the services on the state level, because I cannot be in Springfield every day that they're in session and they getting ready to go back in session. And there's a lot of things that's coming up as it relates to bills that will impact the Village of Broadview. And I need to make sure that I got eyes and ears that's in the place that can make sure that they have the best interest, that we have the best interest, what's best for Broadview. So this is an addendum. It's no additional charge. It's just to add to what we've already agreed to pay for the services on the federal level. It's just adding the state side of lobbying for us. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Chalmalave?
None.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
So just confirming, they're just adding that they're gonna lobby for the state and there isn't a fee for it? Because how the contract looks like this addendum is written, it just says at the original amount. That there wasn't an amount for it.
Yeah, but it's what the cost that we agreed to pay him in the original contract. So it's no additional cost for this addendum.
So is there a way we can have them to kind of just take that language and make it, I'll check with the attorney about that, but it makes me feel like that there was already a cost for this. And now they're saying we're not changing the cost, we're leaving the cost at the same rate when there isn't a cost for it at all.
So it's just saying on the addendum, it's got the Village of Broadview agrees to compensate the Intelligent Group for the state lobbying service at the rate of the original contract. The original contract is what was approved for the federal services that we're receiving. So you should have a copy of the federal contract in your files.
Okay, all you did was read kind of what I was saying. It really doesn't make sense to me, but I'll circle back on that later.
Well, if you review the original contract, the terms of the agreement for payment is in the original contract. This is an addendum.
I already said I'll circle back later.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Abstain.
And Madam President, can I have your vote, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This carries 4-0 with 1 abstention. Thank you all. Next, item D, a resolution authorizing and approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Cook County Department of Public Health for the provision of environmental health inspectional services for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Chamalave. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, can you tell us about this agreement for the Cook County Public Health Department?
Yes, Mayor. This is our annual agreement for inspection services from the Cook County Health Department for any restaurants or any spaces that serve food or any type of products. So that being said, we do this on an annual basis. It's renewal annually, and so I'm coming before you as I've done in the last probably 10 years. So I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave?
None.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions. I see the amount on the agenda here, on the legislation. I was just concerned about the dollar amount, but I see it here. That's all.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And this carries 4-0. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Next
Mayor.
item,
Thank you, Board.
E, a resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement between the County of Cook, and the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois, related to certain roadway improvements as part of the Connecting Cook County and Invest in Cook programs.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by Trustee Shelby. Madam President?
Thank you. Director Ames, can you tell us about this agreement?
Good evening, all. Standard resolution, IGA, for the roadway improvements at 21st Avenue and 21st Street. So, it's IGA for Cook County grant. Questions, concerns?
Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave?
No question.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham?
Yes.
Trustee Chamalave?
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby?
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller?
Yes.
And this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next item, F, a resolution authorizing a certain memorandum of understanding between certain West Suburban municipalities and the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation related to establishing a system of sustainability, the Kaleidoscope Program.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Shelby. Madam President?
Thank you. So this MOU is with Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. Mayor Harvey, the Village of Broadview, and myself have partnered with the Neighborhood Hero Foundation as it relates to our environmental sustainability plans. This foundation does belong to the artist Little Dirk. And so this collaboration is to bring more young people, making them consciously aware of what takes place in the environmental space. So in his foundation, there's a component with environmental sustainability. And this is just showing our partnership and our collaboration as we work with the youth in our community to bring awareness, education, and to develop young emerging leaders for as we create our own youth council to move this. And so if you all remember, last year I had an opportunity to go to Dubai as it relates to COP28, and that's our environmental sustainability on a global level. And I got an opportunity to participate with, was 10 young people that was on that trip with us as we toured Dubai and all of the environmental issues that impact us worldwide. And so I thought this was a great partnership, a great collaboration, and to just bring the more young people that we have in this space, a better future we have in the environmental space. Trustee Abraham, do you have any questions or comments?
None.
Trustee Chalmalave?
Just a comment, I think this is a great program. I read through it, and I like the idea of the Next Generation Innovation Lab. I think that's going to be a great addition to the children here. Will this be for only Broadview and Bellwood, or?
So right now, the partnership is just with Bellwood and Broadview, but we're looking to expand. So he's tapping, so traditionally this foundation has been citywide in the city of Chicago. He's tapping out into other areas, and he selected the Village of Broadview and the Village of Bellwood to be the first West Suburban partners with his initiatives.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
You're welcome. Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Roll call. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, we have already covered item G, so we're going to be going to item H, an ordinance authorizing and approving the disposal of personal property for the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Chalmalave, seconded by trustee Abraham. Madam President?
Thank you. So we need to dispose the interest signs. So as you all are aware, you all approved for us to get new interest signs, and I don't know if you've seen them yet or not, but they look very, very nice. And so we have the old interest signs. We did have one person that was of interest of the signs, and I would like to be able to give that sign to him. He's a retired firefighter for the Broadview Fire Department. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Chalmalave?
No question.
Trustee Shelby?
No questions.
Trustee Miller?
So we're giving one of 6 signs away?
No, we disposing all 6, but he was the only one that asked for it. So if someone else come and say they want a sign, we should be able to give it to them that wants the sign.
Okay, so it's 6 total and 1 potential, I guess, recipient of that one sign, and the other 5, we're just tossing them unless someone asks for them.
That's correct.
And what's the process for them to ask? Just email somebody at the village?
Yeah, they can reach out to Director Ames.
Director Ames, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham.
Yes.
Trustee Chalmalave.
Yes.
Trustee Senior is absent. Trustee Shelby.
Yes.
Trustee Armour is absent. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
And this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next item I, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Golden Mart Import and Export LLC, doing business as Golden Mart LLC at 200 South 25th Avenue, Unit 114, to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's Been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Chamalabi, and if I can ask Commissioner Upshaw to clarify that address. 200 South 25th
The
Avenue?
address is 2000 25th Avenue, Suite 114.
So for the record, the address is 2000 South 25th Avenue, Unit 114. Thank you, sir. Madam President, open for discussion.
Thank you. Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this new business coming to Broadview?
Yes, Golden Mart Import and Export. We just mentioned the location, 25th Avenue, Suite 114. They are a food distribution company. They have passed all their inspections and are compliant with all village codes. And I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
Yes, what kind of food? Is it groceries or?
No, what the raisins, nuts, juices, and things of that nature, which will become packaged and they will be being distributed to like Jewels, Dominic's, and things of that in bulk.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
Yeah, that was my question. I was like, are they wholesale, or is this a retail location, or what was going on? So
Wholesale.
it's all wholesale. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior is absent, trustee Shelby,
Yes.
trustee Armour is absent, trustee Miller,
Yes.
and this carries 4-0. Thank you all. Next, item J, consideration of an application for a business license requested by Kinfolk Marketplace LLC at 2100 West Roosevelt Road to operate in the Village of Broadview, County of Cook, State of Illinois.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been properly motioned by trustee Abraham, seconded by trustee Chamalave. Madam President.
Commissioner Upshaw, you want to tell us about this business?
Yes, Kinfolk Marketplace will be located at 2100 Roosevelt Road, Suite A. 2100 Roosevelt Road, Suite A. It is a retail consignment and vintage clothing shop. They are compliant with all village codes and ordinances. I'll entertain any questions at this time.
Trustee Abraham, you have any questions or comments?
No questions.
Trustee Chamalave?
No questions.
Trustee Shelby?
So it's just for vintage clothing, no furniture or nothing like that?
That's
A
correct.
boutique, right? Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Miller?
No questions.
Mr. Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, we can, Madam President. Trustee Abraham,
Yes.
trustee Chamalave,
Yes.
trustee Senior is absent, trustee Shelby.
No, yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Trustee Armour is absent, trustee Miller,
Yes.
and this carries 4-0. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board.
Next is item 11, Village Clerk's report. I'll be very brief. This past Saturday, I reflected on our Saturday bike
This is
rides
fun.
that Mayor Thompson started way back, it seemed like 2018, 2019, but we've been doing it for a while, and residents of Broadview participated, residents from other towns participated, and when trustee Miguel Jones from Maywood started riding with us, we started gathering some momentum, and to see what we have come to today, these days, is something to behold. It was amazing, all of the participation and community collaboration that took place in Bellwood this past Saturday at the 5th Annual Tour de Proviso. We had a huge turnout, and I was almost in tears as some of the speeches were given and seeing all of the people that participated in what we had to say. We had Senator Kim Lightford there, mayors from several different towns, including Bellwood, Broadview, Riverside, Oak Park, Maywood, and I want to give a special thanks to Mayor Harvey in Bellwood for doing a phenomenal job of hosting this event. And I want to also give a shout out to Randall McFarland with Best of Proviso for their participation. But I am so looking forward to next year. I believe we have set it to be hosted by Oak Park River Forest and looking to take the first place trophy for Broadview next year because we've come so close, but next year we're going to do it. That concludes my report this evening, Madam President. Next is item 12, Village President's Report, Mayor Katrina Thompson.
I think I'm getting frozen. So, I guess I'll just keep talking. So good evening, everyone. I just got a few announcements. So I just want to remind everyone that in 29 more days, we will be going to the polls to vote. And so we're working on a plan to get our seniors and those with disabilities a right to be able to go early vote. Election day is on November 5th, and we start early voting October 21st through November 4th. And so just be on the lookout for some updates as it relates to us being able to get rides for those that need the rides to the village, to the voting sites or to the polling places. Next is there is some filming taking place within the Village of Broadview in the municipal village chambers. And so we're finally working out all of the details. We do know that we will be fully closed on Monday, October 14th for this. So we'll be closed, the village hall, the village parking lot will be closed from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Monday, October 14th. We will put out messaging around that day to make sure that everyone know we will not be conducting village business that day because of the film that's being made. Clerk McGreer elaborated on tour day proviso, but I like to remind people of how that was birthed. So in 2020, when we were in the height of COVID, I had posted on social media who wants to ride. And to my surprise, about 25 riders showed up, and they was consistently showed up for a 1 hour ride. Many of them were Broadview residents, but many of them came from other municipalities like the Village of Maywood and Bellwood and Forest Park, and some of our other surrounding communities. Melrose Park showed up at that time. And so Trustee McGill in the Village of Maywood, we're riding, and he asked, what did I think if we put something together like a tour day proviso? A tour day France. And tour day proviso was birthed, and the Village of Broadview hosted the first two tour day provisos in the Village of Broadview. And so with that, we start having more robust conversations as it relates to transportation, because what we acknowledged that in Bellwood, Broadview, and Maywood, we had no bike lines. And if you all remember, those that wrote that first tour day proviso, when we rode from Broadview to Maywood, and we were going to the Village of Bellwood on Washington Boulevard, the road was in poor shape, dire need of some love and tender care on the Washington Boulevard. We rode that route today on Saturday, and the road is smooth. It's got repaved. It got some infrastructure in place, and the things that was so most rewarding is to see a bike lane in a predominantly Black and Hispanic community. So kudos to us just bringing awareness to our communities on the lack of disadvantaged services that neglect that we have been having for so many years. So we're starting to see more bike lanes in our community, more pedestrian safe passageway, but we're also promoting tourism, which creates a destination. Each community that we live in, we have a destination. We have restaurants, we have things that we can look to, like Maywood has a rich history during the civil rights movement, and we actually get to promote all of these things that's within our communities, and we're promoting health and wellness. And with that, it's not just physical health, but it's also our mental health. I'm telling you, when I got off this ride on Saturday, I felt so alive, so revived, and just refreshed. So it's way bigger than us. And we started the first tour, we probably had 50 to 100 people there, but now we're up to almost 500 plus riders riding with us in these different communities. And so we're very proud of the work that we're doing to benefit all communities at large. Bellwood, Mayor Harvey, because this was a milestone for us, and the original founders of Tour Day Proviso was Broadview, Maywood, and Bellwood. Bellwood hosted the 5th year, and they did it real big. It was very organized. It was well attended. People had a lot of fun. And this is the work that we do every single day, is bringing communities together and unifying us, because wherever we go, we support one another. And that's the real work, is how we bring people together. So I'm very grateful for that. Bellwood did take the first place trophy, which if they did not take the first place trophy, I would think something was really wrong, but they did take the first place trophy. Westchester came in second, and Broadview came in with a strong 3rd place. And if everybody would have showed up, we may have come in 2nd place again this year. So we're very hopeful, and we like the small tokens that was created last year with, having bragging rights for each community. That's a highlight of all of us in municipal services like to see those trophies awarded. The clerk did mention that next year it's going to be out in Oak Park River Forest, so we're really excited about them. We do a lot of collaboration work with them. President Skaman and President Aducci, the three of us do a lot of work in our C4 initiatives that was created by the three founding members on that for environmental sustainability. So we're just excited about how we look at collaborations and partnerships through our communities. And again, shout out to Randall McFarland when we asked him to help us put this together, because it is a heavy lift for municipalities and how we raise money and get sponsorships to help do this work. He stepped up right to the plate. So we just want to say thank you, Randall, for your participation and your willingness. And he's super excited about all of the work that he does with Tour de Proviso. On Saturday, October 12th, we are launching our new website. So make sure you click on Saturday to check out our new Village website. I think you will be very pleased with how user-friendly it is, the new look, the new face. It's a really good website, and we're very proud. The leadership that worked on the website, we're very proud of the product that's going to be relaunched of our new website. Our comprehensive plan is coming along very, very well. Our consultant will be at our next board meeting on October 21st to talk about the comprehensive plan, to let us know where we are in the process with our plan. And then our financial audit report will be discussed at the October 21st meeting as well. So we're excited about where we are, how we look at our being fiscal responsible, and where we are financially. It's just very, very exciting for us to be able to do a really good job. And so this work is not done by myself. The Board of Trustees, they approve the budgets and stuff like that, but you'll be very proud of the budget the report that's going to be released. And thank you, Trustee Shelby, for always being diligent, making sure you come to the village every week to ask your questions, to look at the finances and keep us in our respective space of transparency, honest, and responsible fiscal responsibility. I appreciate your leadership. This week I am many of you probably don't know this, but I do chair the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency. And so I'm at WEFTEC, and WEFTEC is a Water Environment Federation Technical Conference. And so I'm at this conference representing the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency, and I'm learning more about environmental sustainability and how to promote circular water economy. And so the water agency, we are getting ready to build a water reservoir in the Village of Broadview. And so I need to connect with people and learn more about it to make sure that we get the best products and that we connect with those that's in this emerging space of water. Water is a basic human right, and drinking water is very important to us. So it's up to the leaders to get engaged and be participant in it. So I will have more updates on that after I report back to my board, which is the Broadview Westchester Joint Water Agency. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this meeting by asking for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Miller, seconded by Trustee Chalmalave to adjourn this evening's meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing no opposition, we are hereby adjourned at 8:48 p.m. Thank you all for coming. God bless and good night.
Thank you. God bless you all, everyone.
Good night, Mayor.